Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by DirtTrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your hosts, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, welcome to the 31st Lap. Back again, if you can believe it, after a long time off. Appreciate everybody tuning in to join us here this evening and trying to figure out why it is that we can't get our overlay back up. There it goes. All right, so it's been a little while. Final Round Podcast is on the alternating Thursdays tonight, coming to you from the North Park building here at Academy Square. The 31st Lap. It's been a long and busy summer, and we've got tons of information to share with you. Some of it you've probably already heard. The hot topics right now is that after Labor Day, the season came to a close, basically, the weekly racing season. There's some titles that were handed out. Matt Sheppard, he collected titles in pretty much every place that he's been running on a regular basis. But the big changes, instead, not so much the crowning of champions, but the new management and the new programming that's going to be happening at some of these area racetracks. Canandaigua Speedway, Canandaigua Motorsports Park is now going to be known as Land of Legends Raceway under Paul Cole. Ontario County Fair Board, which oversees the grounds where the track is at, has signed a new 2-year lease for 2018 and 2019 to Paul Cole to take it over. Paul Cole is the guy who runs SuperGen Products. That's the nationwide distributor of Champion Power Equipment. It's the generators, power washers, winches. Those guys are busy with the Grit Sportsman Series. They've sponsored divisions. They've sponsored drivers. They've been active with CRSA 305s. They've been active with the Patriot Sprint Tour. So no stranger to motorsports. We saw their logos on the Guerreri's cars time and time again. So no strangers to motorsports. Paul Cole now taking over the helm of Land of Legends Raceway, formerly Canandaigua Speedway. The other big news, and this is the one that really caught me off guard a little bit, was if you want to find out more, landoflegendsraceway.com. One that caught me off guard was Fulton Udrome Speedways dialing the clock back to the 358 division. Now, the 358s, it was an awesome class. Those two were previously dyed-in-the-wool 358 tracks in previous iterations. So the 358's no stranger to those tracks, and the 358's at Fulton, they showed up in 1979 when Fulton came out with a dirt surface. Previous to that, it was asphalt, and it stayed 358's until the year 2000 when the big blocks came in. And with the dirt car sportsman class, dirt cars of the opinion that crate motor program is stable enough now, and they've got a couple different options for people to run affordable 358s. They've got such a saturated division at Fulton that the crate sportsmen are running 2 full-point sportsman features on a given Saturday. So they're trying to give those guys the opportunity to move up and perhaps some of those other modified guys to move down into a 358 car and really, really diversify the class. And, I mean, how great would it be if they were at a point where they were running consolation rounds so that they could fill the full field? It would be awesome to see that. Remains to be seen. I believe it'll probably work. It's a great idea. The success of that sportsman division, it's been no secret. Running that crate motor that they've got, it's really rejuvenated the class, and the people that have embraced it, it's work. We also see the crate late models gaining some strong footing at a number of area tracks. The crate late models were run at Black Rock Speedway. Well, I think it was Yates County Raceway, and then they've got that has stayed around. They've got the crate late models previously at Canandaigua Speedway. Those went away. Fulton picked them up. We've seen them running at Batavia as well over at Genesee Speedway. So, you know, the division works. The crate motor package program has been proven. So now we're starting to look at the 358 division, venturing down that same path. So Fulton Speedway, again, going to be welcoming the 358s on a weekly basis starting next year. Again, quoting John White, who owns the track, with the explosion of the dirt car sportsman class, we need to give racers a way to broaden their horizons. With the cost of a big block engine being cost prohibitive for many teams, an alternative has to be used for the future of the sport. Now, Brewerton's going to stay a dirt track. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. Brewerton is going to remain a big block track. The 358 rules, they're on Dirt Car UMP. It's on the website under the rules tab. The W16 engine package, which has been around for a little bit now, we've seen that pick up wins with Billy Dunn, Tim Fuller. that's been around, proven affordable, proven a winner. So that's one of your options. Brodix also has an aluminum head engine out there as well, if you want to dive into that. Bill and Kim Shea, they were right on the heels of this, and they made the move, signing Dirt Car Sanctioned 358s as the headline class next year, getting away from the modifieds. The track, like Fulton, was a 358 track dating back to 1986, and it kept that let me rephrase that. It opened as a dirt car sanctioned track for the first year in 1986, and it was a 358 sanctioned track from 1999 through 2004 before the big blocks came back. Looking at small block win list, Hod Burley leads the charge, 18 wins in his career there, 358 modified division, and Stuart Friesen won the last track championship in the class back in 2004. Everybody making these type of changes, it costs people money. We've heard about from drivers, and we've heard from general managers over at either Gates County Raceway or Outlaw Speedway or Black Rock Speedway, who they've had a number of changes in the last 10 years or so, going from small block modifieds to Sportsman as a headline class. They had the sprint cars. They went to big block modifieds. There was a lot of jumping around. Anytime you make a change like this, it's going to cost people money. The goal of this is to not cost people money and to make people able to save a little bit and run more affordably. But nonetheless, the Sportsman guys are going to have to move up with their power plants, but hopefully they can sell off some of their stuff. They don't have to swap out chassis as quickly, and you can do okay with it. The only downfall to say an open or a more specified rule set, not crate motored 358s, is it's a smaller motor. And while it can put out nice torquey numbers and you can get good speed and you can make a good race car out of it, it tends to need to be freshened just about twice as often. So if you take a motor that's half the cost, it needs to be freshened twice as often. Is it saving anything or not? That's where that crate motor program steps in. The crate motor comes in, and hopefully that holds up. And to the rigors of what's been proven in some other home tracks, and this thing will take off and be strong. Press releases out of Utica Rome. They said the modified division has grown stagnant as the cost to operate a competitive team has grown too much for the average racer. Bill Shea went on to say that he's owned cars, and the difference between owning a competitive big block and small block is staggering. The big blocks are just getting too expensive. We think that the switch to small blocks will help save teams money and also bring in some new blood to the division. We've seen car counts throughout Central New York drop because guys can't afford it anymore. We hope this will bring them back. Sportsman counts have been up significantly, like we said. Utica Rome themselves have had nearly 100 different Sportsman class drivers compete at Utica Rome just in 2017. So they can't make the jump to the modifieds because of how much it costs, and they're looking to swap that to the 358 class so that they can do it. The 350 modified class was featured at Utica Rome twice last year. Matt Sheppard won the first one in in August. Eric Rudolph won the first one. The 358 will be back at Utica Rome on October 3rd for their first time in 13 years, serving as the kickoff to Super Dirt Week. The 360 Coal Cup and the Dirt Sportsman are also on the card. You can find out more at UticaRomeSpeedway.com. You can also look up Super Dirt Week online. That'll give you the entire outline of the satellite schedule. Coming up tomorrow, a couple pieces of information for you. The Super Dirt Car Series is going to be diving into Brewerton Speedway for the Duel with the Demon. That is the Modified Super Dirt Series and the Dirt Car Sportsman Championship Series Central Region. Duel with the Demon 3, it's the third iteration of the race, is going to have Billy Decker, Granby winner Larry White, Pat Ward, of course Matt Sheppard. He just picked up a win at La RPM and Weedsport back on Labor Day. Stu Friesen, Tim Fuller, Brett Hearn, all those guys going to be there in town for the Duel with the Demon 3. Sheppard comes into the race. I mean, I don't know if it's possible to be hotter and carrying more momentum. He won 2 of the last 3 events on the tour and has won 7 times in 2017. Decker's out in front in the points, but Sheppard, he's within striking distance. And Sheppard has also won the Duel with the Demon previously, winning in 2016. Billy Decker won it in 2015. Track champion Ron Davis is going to be defending home turf at Brewerton in the Sportsman Division class. and I believe he's won the last two. Yeah, he's won the last two Duel at the Demons. So if you're going to bet on him, put money down on him. $25 to get in the gate. BurtonSpeedway.com has the details. They're also hosting a Muscular Dystrophy Association fundraiser and awareness program out there. Make sure you support those guys. MDA press release is right on the front page. If you type in BurtonSpeedway.com, click on the track link, it'll take you right there. You can find more. Sheppard set a new track record in qualifying at RPM. He started 11th in the main after the redraw, clawed his way into the lead with 12 laps to go. Checked out, and that makes 7 of the last 9 for him in victory lane. Larry White was second, Jimmy Phelps, David Robert, Tim Fuller. Larry White won his second SDS event of the year at Granby. The night prior to that, Steve Bernard, Billy Decker, Pat Ward, Max McLaughlin. Sheppard was 21st, unfortunately. That was the day, that was after he won Labor Day in Weedsport, and he had to turn back a hard charge by Stuart Friesen in the last moments, but he was able to come away with that. It was a bunch of yellow flags, bunched the field. There was a green-white checker dash to the finish line, and again, hard to bet against Matt Sheppard. He always picks up wins there. Rocky Warner, he topped Dave Marchicelli. These are names you're going to be seeing over Brewerton tomorrow as well. Dave Marchicelli in the 50-lap 5,000 win Ultimate Sportsman Showdown at Utica Rome. Warner drew the pole and was doing just fine out in front. He had Marchicelli on his heels. Marchicelli got the lead on lap 37 when Warner bobbled, and Warner was able to rebound, and after doing that, it was the final lead change. Outlaw 200 weekend is coming up real quick. Let's give you a couple items of note about Fulton Speedway. If you're punching in Brewerton Speedway, click on the other link, and it'll take you to Fulton. You can find out more about Outlaw 200 weekend at Fulton. Camping opens Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Ticket sales open Thursday at 5 o'clock. Friday's card is the late models running 50 laps, the TUSA Mod Lights running 36 laps, the 4-cylinder Open, which is 25 laps, Novice Sportsman 20 laps, and the 15-lap modified qualifiers, with the winners earning the 17th through 20th place starting spots in the Outlaw 200. Sportsman shootout heats and consolations are also on the schedule. Hot laps are 6, racing at 7. The Outlaw 200 heats are set for 4:30 on September the 30th. Visit FultonSpeedway.com for more details on that one. Steve Poirier won the final points race of 2017 for the Lucas Oil Empire Super Sprints at Can-Am last weekend. It's his 6th career triumph at Can-Am Motorsports Park. It was over $2,000. Went home with him in the win. He got started 6th on the grid, and he was up to 3rd about 5 laps in. Battled with Jeff Cook for 2nd, got him, and there was only a handful of laps remaining, but it didn't matter. Poirier was super fast, raced down Matt Tanner with 5 to go, held on for his 65th career win. Tanner was 2nd ahead of Cook, Paul Kinney, Chad Miller. Jason Barney, with his finish of 6th, clinched the U.S. Tour Points title. Danny Varon clinched the SUNY Canton Series by placing 7th, and that was spurred on by his 360 Open, or 360 Invitational event win Labor Day at Weedsport. Danny Varon, he came away with the win in that one. Jason Barney led early. Chuck Hebing took over 5 laps in. Paulie Giovanni drew a red flag on lap 13 when he flipped it, and he wasn't hurt on the restart. Varon jumped from 4th place, took 2nd on the restart, and then on the outside power move of turn 2, lap 15, he took the top spot, and nobody touched him from there. Barney was 2nd. Billy Van Dingwich, Jane Hebing, and Tommy Wickham filling out the top 5. Dialing the clock back a little bit further. Let's navigate this the right way. Primarily focusing on Matt Sheppard, wrapping up track titles at Outlaw, then Canandaigua, and Sunday. Everything was anticlimactic because they rained out back on Labor Day weekend. And they didn't have to race at Utica Rome, and they lost the event, which sewed up Sheppard's 3rd points title of the weekend and 3rd straight at Utica Rome. So just take a look at what these numbers are for Matt Sheppard. The guy is just unbelievable. Going back to 2003, he's won 19 track championships at 6 different tracks. But going back to his debut in modifieds, breaking out of the sportsman division and into the 358s in 2001, he's won 21 track championships, adding a couple there. He's going to go into the record books as one of the best there ever. And each year since 2009, Sheppard's made at least 75 starts. Some of them were up over 80, approaching 90. He's won no fewer than 21 races in a single season, and this year he's at 64 starts. There's plenty more to go, and he's got the most wins in a single season he's ever logged, winning 32 times. Since that streak of 20-plus wins started back in 2009, Sheppard has made 767 starts in a modified and finished outside the top 10 only 109 times, which that math was just absurd. Friday night track was title number 18 at Outlaw. He held on to win the points title there by 110 points. Steve Payne jumped up to 2nd, 40 ahead of Alan Johnson, who had some trouble in their last main. that was a double points event. There was a double points event and a hellover feature at Canandaigua Motorsports Park before all the news came out that Land of Legends Raceway was going to be the new moniker for the track at the end of the year. The night ended ultimately with Justin Harris tied with Sheppard at the end of the season. Sheppard coming away with the track championship based on the number of wins that he had through the course of the year. The double point 40-lap feature was a barn burner. Harris defended and came away with the win, but like I said, it left him in a tie with Matt Sheppard, and Sheppard took the title based on a win count. Sheppard's 8 wins at Utica Rome anchored his title effort. It was his 3rd straight win there, 4th overall when you figure the 358 modified track title, going 4th overall when you count the 358 modified track title that he got back in 2002. He's got track titles at Brewerton in 09, 11, 13, 14, and 15, Cuyahoga County in 01. That was a 358 mod, and then in 2010, New Egypt in 01 and 2007. Just the numbers are unbelievable. He's got the 1999 Super Dirt Car Series Rookie of the Year honors, won the overall Tour Points Chase the next year, took Sportsman Track Championships at Cuyahoga County and Rolling Wheels in 2000 as well. He moved to Modifieds in 01, won the Rookie of the Year honors, and the 358 Modified Super Dirt Series 2 years later. He was the Super Dirt Car Series Modified Rookie of the Year. He's won each of the Tour races, headline events in Syracuse, which I think he's the only driver ever to come close to doing that. He won the Sportsman race in 2000, the 358 race in 03, and then the 200 lapper in 09. Just the numbers are just staggering when you look at what he's done. He's won the Super Dirt Car Series Modified Championship in 10, 11, 12, and then back-to-back in 15 and 16. He's 3rd in points now and knocking on the door. And this is after he had to miss a couple races earlier this year for a penalty after something that happened at Utica Rome. Sheppard set a record by winning 12 times on the Tour last year, and that broke the 10-win standard that Billy Decker had set this year. After he missed 2 races, he won 5 straight, and like we said, he's sitting at 7 of the last 9. That 5 straight title mark set by Alan Johnson all the way back in 1983. He's also won at Hagerstown. He's won the Outlaw 200 at Fulton, the Coal Cracker, Big Diamond, King of the Can, Lightning on the Mountain at Thunder Mountain. It was pretty impressive. Outlaw Speedway, other track champions. Let's see, where was it? Carl Comfort winning the Crate Sportsman Track Championship over Chris Fisher. Did it by just 5 points. Not too bad of a season there. Let's see, Jason Knowles won the Crate Late Model feature over Bryce Davis. Excuse me, I misspoke there. Brian Knowles won the points chase by 52 points. Glenn Wertenauer winning the IMCA Track Championship there at Outlaw at Brewerton. It was hard to believe. It was Ron Davis coming away with the win, the track championship. In that one, he ended up finished the feature 2nd place in the season finale, and now he's gearing up with all that momentum to go into this weekend's action. Tommy Catalano became the 3rd family driver to win a Sunoco Modified Championship, following his mom Amy and his uncle Buck winning the Sunoco Modified Championship over at Spencer. Not a bad little bit of lineage that's going on there. Trying to find the final point standings for our friends over there at Canandaigua here in the notes, and I've misplaced it there. Dave Marchicelli ended up coming away with the win in the sportsman class over there, which wasn't too bad. And Adam DePay won the Street Stock Division Championship over at Canandaigua Speedway. Over at Fulton, Billy Whitaker finally coming away with a modified feature win, got the lead on lap 17, and checked out on their final night of weekly racing. Jimmy Phelps was on a title pace, and he got together with another one of the cars running mid-pack when he was on his way to the front, and unfortunately, when he had to do that, put him to the rear, now he had to drive like a man possessed, came back through, and he caught the point leader, Sears, and Tim Sears ended up holding on barely. It was a drag race. Sears ended up finishing by 0.04 of a second ahead of Phelps at the finish line back on that last night of points racing, and sure enough, didn't that 0.04 of a second turn into a championship for Tim Sears. Congratulations out to him. Dave Schillick going back, he won Classic Weekend at Oswego. Mike Lichty won the ISMA Super Nationals as part of that. Mike Bond won the Small Block Supers portion of the racing, and Ryan Preece won the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour finale. And I think that capped it. Oh, yeah, one more thing that we missed. We mentioned Brett Hearn a little bit ago. Brett Hearn picked up a win at Lebanon Valley. He won the Mr. Dirt Track USA event at Lebanon Valley, and that's what put a fork in Matt Sheppard's string of so many wins in a row. 5 in a row is what that ended, again, breaking that record that was held by one Alan Johnson. Northeast Mud Boss Series, the RC Series, is starting to pick up some momentum here as we move towards the conclusion of 2017. They're going to be running tomorrow night, with the first event being held under the lights, the entire program being held at night at Crystal Valley. Crystal Valley's online. Dave Callahan is leading the points chase with that. These are the ultra-affordable Traxxas / two-wheel drive cars. And these things are a ball to race, and they look just like dirt modifieds, which is something that was really a selling point for me. They run in Auburn here locally at Small Addictions Raceway. They also run at Radio Hill Raceway on Saturday nights down in Dundee. It's a neat program, and you gotta get out there and check those out. Those are also going to be part of the Motorsports Expo coming up in March at the New York State Fairgrounds, and the Finger Lakes Speed World Show, which is coming up in the beginning of March, the week before Expo, at Finger Lakes Mall. So you got a couple opportunities to race them at special events. Got the chance to race for a little bit of money, and then on top of all of that, you get the chance to run them weekly at a bunch of different tracks. Turning our attention back to Outlaw Speedway for a few minutes. Friday, September the 22nd, the 360 sprint cars are racing for $5,000. The Grit Hoosier Tire Sportsmen are running for $1,500 to win. And the top 4 are guaranteed starters for Saturday's program. This is part of that Outlaw Fall Nationals weekend they do the 22nd and 23rd of September. Street stocks are going for $1,200 to win, with the top 4 guaranteed for the World 100 on Saturday. TUSA Mod Lights, the regional event, $500 to win, 4 cylinders, $1,000 to win, Outlaw Style, top 4 guaranteed starters for Saturday's program. Hobby Stocks, $500 to win, plus the Gunslinger Modified Practice, $500 dash for cash and a guaranteed starter spot for Saturday's show. United Racing Club, Patriot Sprint Tour, and Empire Super Sprints all listed as co-sanctioning the event for that 360 Open. The Modified Gunslinger 50 is scheduled for Saturday the 23rd. The Grit Sportsmen are going to be running on the American Racers on Saturday. That's $2,000 to win. Crate late models going for $1,500. IMCA Empire Series State and National Qualifier, both in the same event, $1,200 to win. The TUSA Mod Light Nationals are back for $1,000 to win event. 600 sprints are going for $750. The Sportsman Shootout going for $1,200. The 4 cylinders, it's the 4-cylinder Super Bowl is what they call it. 1,000 wins, open rules, open tires, and run what you brung. Just go race it. Again, that's for the 4 cylinders. 1,000 win there. Give you the rundown on the gates and the times. Friday, gates open at 3 o'clock. Hot laps at 6. Racing at 7. Grandstands cost $22 for adults. Seniors $20. Pits cost $40. Saturday, the gates open at 1. Hot laps at 3. Heats at 4. Features at 6:30. Grandstands are $22. For adults, seniors are $20, pits are $40. Had a little blip on the screen here. Wanted to make sure that was working okay. All right, we're good to go. Jump online, www.outlawspeedwayllc.com. So, covered a lot of information here in a hurry. We're going to be back in about 2 weeks. To give you a little bit more of a heads up, we'll try and get a hold of a couple of people, see if we can't take a look at Super Dirt Week coming up as that gets ready to take flight at Oswego. If you can imagine, we're only about a month away from that. We're only a couple weeks away from the Outlaw 200, and man, once that happens, we are stacked with racing here in Central New York. So it's going to be a good time of year. Good time of year as we head towards the fall, all those extra postseason races that are going on. Keep an eye on it. We'll have more information for you here in about 2 weeks, and if you can't catch up with us then, don't be afraid to stop by next weekend. Next Thursday night, we're here with the Final Round Drag Racing Podcast. Jason Oldfield's going to be in the studio. I'll be back here. We'll talk about running in a straight line with any number of the guests that we kicked around. We had a ton of ideas this week, and right now we're still trying to finalize the details and make room for everybody that wants to try and make it into the studio here. So that's going to do it for us. Going to wrap it up live from the North Park building here at Academy Square. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us for a little bit on a Thursday with the 31st lap. Good to be back, and look forward to seeing you again real soon in 2 weeks.